In this tutorial, we will learn about Android services and its life cycle. So let's see what is a service. Service is an application that can perform long-running applications in background, for example, like internet downloads, notifications, etc. The services actually consist of two states, the started and bounded. Okay, first is started service. A service is started when an application component such as an activity starts it by calling start service method. Once started, a service can run in the background indefinitely, even if the component that is started it is destroyed, and it can be stopped using the stop service method, and it is independent of the component in which it is started. Also, it can stop itself by calling the stop itself method. Next is bound service. It serves another application component such as activities to bind services, send requests, receive responses, and perform inter-process communication. So, a service is bound when an application components bind it by calling the bind service method. It offers client-server interface that allows components to interact with the service, and it can be stopped using the unbind service method and is dependent of the component in which it is started. So this is an example for a service. You can see an audio player which starts and stops services and plays an audio. So services are codes which runs in the background, which can be started and stopped and does not have a user interface attached to it. So a service is not a separate process or not a thread, and the main features of a service is that it tells the system about something it wants to be doing in the background, and it calls to context.start service method, which asks the system to schedule work for the service to be run until the service or someone else explicitly stop it. So when we are declaring a service, you have to declare that particular service in the manifest file. You can see that here in the manifest file, in the under the application element, you have to call the service element with attribute Android name equal to .example.service. This is an example service. Okay, this is just an example service. Okay, so you have to add that particular service in the manifest file. So now let us see the interfaces which we are using in this bound service. Here we use the iBinder, which is a base interface for remoteable objects. That is, whenever an activity calls service, it should return an iBinder object. But the iBinder is an interface in which its objects cannot be created itself. Hence, we use binder class which implements iBinder interface that access the remoteable object. Now, let us see the methods we are using. Mainly, the bind service method is used, which contains three arguments. The first one is intent service, which lets the application to communicate with the background service, and the second is the service connection. It is an interface for monitoring the state of an application service, and it uses two methods called on service connected and on service disconnected. And the last argument is flags, in which we pass bind auto create, in which the service gets binded automatically. Okay. Now let's move on to the life cycle of Android. Let us first see the started service life cycle. Okay, so to call a service, we use the start service method, and to create a service, we use on create method, and to start a service, we use on start command. Okay, see, this is the unbounded service or started service. So first we will call the start service method to call a service, and to create a service we call the on create method, and to start a service we use on start command, after which the service gets running. To stop it, we use the on destroy method, which shuts down the service. Similar to it, we have the bounded service, in which to call a service we use the bind service method, and to create it we use on create, and to bind the service we use the on bind method, and in which the clients are bound to service, and to unbind it we use the on unbind method, and to destroy it we use the on destroy, in which the service get shut down. This is the life cycle of a service. So all the services life cycle are explained here: on start command, on bind method, then on unbind method, on rebind method. The rebind method is actually called when new clients have connected to the service after it had previously been notified that all had disconnected in its own unbind intent. Then on create and on destroy method. Now let's see an example of service. Here I have created a simple service demo application which runs in the background and shows notification in the upper notification bar with a period of specified time. I have created the project with the following: project name, application name, package name, create activity, and a stick version of 4. Okay, so I have added a new class called myService, you can see here, which extends the service class, and it implements override the iBinder method. Okay, and after that I have already told you that you have to add that particular service in the manifest file under service element. So in service element, which the attribute is Android name, I have added the myService. Okay, now we have to add other lifecycle methods for the myService, like on create, on start, and on destroy. So here you can see in the myService I have added the on create method, on start method, and on destroy method, and it is overriding the iBinder. Okay, here you can see that for this is actually I have displayed everything to the log, that is why I have used log.d. Now let's make the layout for this project. Here in the layout I have only added 2 buttons with start service and stop service with ID button start and button stop, you can see here. And I have added actions to our buttons, button start and button stop, to start and stop the myService and the application in our on create method of the activity. Here you can see I have performed some actions. When you click on the start button, what I have to perform; when you click on the stop button, what I have to perform, I have added here. Then if you run the app and test, we'll see our buttons are starting and stopping in the service log here. You can see here when you start the service, it is created, that is on create method is called. And then when the service is started, it calls the on start method, and when you are stopping the service, this is destroyed. And if you are creating again, the service is again created and service is again started, you can see here in the logget. Then if you want to do something on starting of our service, here I have added a timer. To stop the timer, we do the following thing. Okay, so when I have run that, you can see here when you start the service, it started with a value of for I is equal to 1, and when you until when value of I is equal to 6, and when you stop it, it gets destroyed, and again when you started it, it is created, it is started. These services are being called. Okay, now if you want to show a notification in the notification bar instead of just logcat, you can add the notification manager. Okay, so here you can see when I start the service, a notification is displayed. You can see from service demo, notification text are displaying, and if we are stopping the services, that notification is displayed in the notification bar. This is an example for service, and here this is a sample code for the project which I have done, main activity.java file, and then myservice.java file, and the Android manifest file. So this is all about the Android services and its life cycle. Thank you.